Most people live their entire lives running from discomfort. They wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and tell themselves tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll start that business. Tomorrow I'll chase that dream. Tomorrow I'll become who I'm meant to be. I used to be that person. 3 years ago I lost everything, not just money, though that was gone too, but something far more valuable, my belief in myself. I sat in my empty apartment, lights turned off because I couldn't pay the electric bill, and felt that crushing weight of failure pressing down on my chest. In the darkness, I learned the most important lesson of my life. Rock bottom isn't where dreams go to die, it's where excuses go to die. When you've got nothing left to lose, you finally find the courage to do what you should have done from the beginning. Take massive action. Your breaking point is your breakthrough point. Every single person who's ever achieved anything meaningful hit a moment where they had to decide, stay comfortable or grow through pain. That choice, that single moment of decision, separates those who make it from those who just make excuses. You're sitting here right now because something inside you knows there's more. You can feel it, that potential burning inside you, screaming to get out. And today we're going to unlock it, not tomorrow, not someday, right now. Because the power to transform your life isn't found in some secret formula or hidden strategy. It's found in one thing, your willingness to grow through deliberate action every single day, no matter what. Why most people stay stuck while a select few break free and achieve extraordinary things. I've spent years studying success and failure, and I've noticed something fascinating. The difference isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't even intelligence. Whereas people are in love with the idea of success, but aren't willing to divorce their comfort zone. They're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. But success doesn't wait. It doesn't care about your perfect timing. Look around you. Right now in this room, there's enough potential to change the world. Most of you won't, not because you can't, but because you'll keep telling yourself someday when the kids are older, someday when I have more money, someday when I feel more ready. Let me tell you something about someday. It's a disease. It's the killer of dreams, the assassin of achievement, and it's probably cost you more opportunities than any failure ever could. While you're waiting for someday, someone else is out there taking action, making mistakes, learning, growing, and moving forward. I meet people all the time who tell me, I can't afford to take risks right now. But here's what they don't understand. You can't afford not to. Every day you wait, every day you stay in your comfort zone, you're paying a price. And it's the highest price of all, the price of unfulfilled potential. 10 years ago, where did you think you'd be today? Are you there? If not, what stopped you? Was it really the obstacles, or was it the comfort of familiar excuses, the safety of someday? The price of waiting isn't just time lost. It's opportunities missed. It's growth stunted. It's dreams deferred until they die. But the price of action, sure, it might cost you some comfort. It might cost you some security. It might even cost you some failures along the way. But what most people never realize, those aren't costs, they're investments. Every uncomfortable action, every calculated risk, every moment of pushing past your fears, that's not losing something, that's gaining something. You're gaining strength, you're gaining experience, you're gaining the kind of confidence that only comes from taking action. And that brings us to the most important question you need to ask yourself today. It's not what do I want or what am I capable of? The real question is, what price am I willing to pay? Because achievement isn't free. It costs something. And if you're not willing to pay the price of discipline and discomfort today, you'll end up paying the price of regret tomorrow. The reality of achievement is this: there's no shortcut, no easy path, no magic solution. There's just you, your dreams, and the actions you're willing to take today. Not someday, today. We've been sold a lie that's kept millions of people stuck, wondering why they can't break through. The lie of natural talent. You watch someone succeed and think, they're just gifted. They're naturally good at this. But I'm going to tell you something that might shock you. I've worked with some of the most successful people in the world, and not one of them succeeded because of natural talent. They succeeded because they understood something most people don't. True power isn't given, it's developed. Every morning when you wake up, you make choices. Small choices, seemingly insignificant choices. Hit the snooze button or get up immediately. Check social media or read something meaningful. Complain about your circumstances or do something to change them. These choices seem tiny in the moment. But here's what nobody tells you. These small choices are actually votes for your future self. If you improve just 1% every day, in 1 year you'll be 37 times better. Not 365% better, 37 times better. That's the power of compound growth. But most people never see this power because they're too focused on massive changes. They want to transform overnight. They want the mountain to move all at once. But true power works differently. It's built in the quiet moments when nobody's watching. It's built in those small choices that nobody else sees. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, growth over comfort, action over excuses, you're building power. And where most people get stuck, they're waiting for permission, waiting for validation, waiting for someone to tell them they're ready, they're worthy, they're capable. But true power isn't found in other people's opinions. It's found in your willingness to bet on yourself when nobody else will. I remember when I started my journey, nobody believed in me. Nobody saw what I saw. And you know what? That was the greatest gift they could have given me, because it forced me to believe in myself. It forced me to find my own power. Your power isn't in your circumstances. It's not in your background. It's not in what other people think of you. Your power is in your ability to make different choices today than you made yesterday. Your power is in your ability to keep going when everyone else would quit. Think about water for a moment. Drop by drop, it seems weak, insignificant, but day after day, drop after drop, water can cut through solid rock. That's what consistent action does. That's what daily choices do. They cut through every obstacle, every barrier, every excuse that stands between you and your goals. You don't need massive action every day. You need consistent action every day. You need to string together days, weeks, months of small, powerful choices. Because success isn't built in a day. It's built day by day, choice by choice, action by action. And the most beautiful part, once you understand this, once you really get it deep in your bones, nobody can stop you. Because you're no longer waiting for permission. You're no longer waiting for the perfect moment. You're no longer waiting for someone else to validate your dreams. You're simply taking action every day, building power through small choices, creating momentum through consistent effort, and watching as those small actions compound unstoppable force. This is true power, not the power that's given, but the power that's earned. Not the power that depends on circumstances, but the power that creates circumstances. Not the power that comes from natural talent, but the power that comes from unnatural persistence. And once you understand this, once you really embrace it, you're ready for the next crucial step, because understanding power is one thing, but having the courage to use it, that's something else entirely. And once you understand this, once you really embrace it, something powerful happens. Because here's the truth about courage. It's not the absence of fear. It's taking action in spite of that fear. You're sitting there right now, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking about that dream you've been holding on to, that business you want to start, that change you want to make. And with every thought of action, every idea of moving forward, fear shows up. It whispers all the reasons why you should wait, why you should play it safe, why you should stay exactly where you are. Fear isn't your enemy. Fear is fuel. Every time you feel that knot in your stomach, every time your heart starts racing at the thought of taking action, that's not a warning sign. That's your signal to move forward. Most people spend their whole lives trying to get rid of uncertainty. They want guarantees. They want assurances. They want to know exactly how things will turn out before they begin. But success doesn't work that way. The most successful people I've ever met aren't the ones who eliminated uncertainty. They're the ones who learned to dance with it. Every major breakthrough in your life came when you did something uncertain. Your first steps as a baby, uncertain. Your first day at school, uncertain. Your first job, uncertain. Everything that made you grow came wrapped in uncertainty. But here's where it gets interesting. The moment you take decisive action, something magical happens. The fear doesn't disappear, but it transforms. It becomes energy. It becomes drive. It becomes the very thing that pushes you forward. I remember my first real business decision. My hands were shaking as I signed the papers. Everything inside me was screaming to run back to safety. But I did it anyway. And you know what? That single moment of decisive action created more momentum than months of planning ever could. Momentum! It doesn't come from thinking about action. It doesn't come from planning action. It only comes from taking action. And the beautiful thing about momentum, once you have it, it becomes easier to keep going than to stop. Every morning when I wake up, I don't wait to feel ready. I don't wait to feel confident. I take action first and the confidence follows, because courage isn't something you wait for. It's something you build through consistent effort. Start small if you have to. But start, take that first uncertain step. Make that first uncomfortable phone call. Write that first page. Put yourself out there in some small way. Because here's the secret, the size of the action doesn't matter nearly as much as the consistency of the action. Think of it like pushing a heavy boulder. The hardest part isn't keeping it rolling. The hardest part is getting it to move that first inch. But once it's moving, once you've built that momentum, it becomes easier to keep going. That's why the courage to begin is so crucial, because beginning is the hardest part. Beginning is when all the doubts show up. Beginning is when your mind creates every possible worst-case scenario. Beginning is when you feel most alone. But beginning is also where everything changes. Beginning is where you stop being a spectator in your own life and become the main character. Beginning is where you transform from someone who talks about dreams into someone who chases them. You don't have to see the whole path. You just have to see the first step. Take that step, then find the next one. And the next one, before you know it, you'll look back and realize you've covered more ground than you ever thought possible. Because courage isn't about not being afraid. Courage is about being afraid and moving forward anyway. It's about using that fear as fuel. It's about turning uncertainty into action. And most importantly, it's about understanding that the perfect moment to begin isn't coming. This moment right now is all you've got. And that's where mastering inner discipline becomes crucial, because courage without discipline is like a car without a steering wheel. And that's where mastering inner discipline becomes crucial, because without it, even the strongest courage eventually fades. You see, most people think discipline is a prison. They see it as something that restricts them, holds them back, makes life less enjoyable. But they've got it completely backwards. Discipline isn't your prison. It's your liberation. Every morning when I wake up at 5 a.m., my body resists. Every fiber of my being wants to stay in that warm, comfortable bed. But I get up anyway, not because I have to, but because I've made a promise to myself. And keeping promises to yourself, that's where real power begins. What's holding you back isn't lack of opportunity. It's not lack of resources. It's not even lack of time. What's holding you back is lack of discipline. Because discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Discipline. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. That's where mental toughness is built. That's where unshakable habits are formed. Every challenge you face, every obstacle that shows up in your path, these aren't roadblocks. They're stepping stones, but only if you have the discipline to see them that way. Only if you have the discipline to keep moving forward when everything inside you wants to quit. I remember training myself to embrace discomfort. Started small, cold showers every morning, 5 minutes of reading instead of social media, 1 hour of focused work before checking emails. These weren't just random habits. They were daily declarations of who I was becoming. Because that's what discipline really is. It's a daily declaration. Every time you choose the harder path, every time you do what's necessary instead of what's easy, you're telling yourself a story. You're building evidence that you're someone who follows through, someone who keeps their word, someone who does what needs to be done. Discipline. It compounds, just like money in the bank. Just like knowledge in your mind, discipline grows with interest. Every small victory, every moment of choosing growth over comfort builds on the last, until one day you wake up and realize that the things that used to feel impossible now feel inevitable. But you have to understand something crucial about mental toughness. It's not built in the big moments. It's built in the small ones. It's built in those moments when nobody's watching, when there's no external pressure, when it's just you making a choice between what's easy and what's right. Most people wait for motivation to strike before they take action, but disciplined individuals, they take action first and motivation follows. They understand that waiting to feel ready is a luxury they can't afford. Because life doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait. Growth doesn't wait. Your mind will always create excuses. It will always find reasons why today isn't the right day, why now isn't the right time, why you should wait just a little longer. But discipline. Discipline cuts through those excuses like a hot knife through butter. Because discipline isn't about feeling ready. It's about being ready. And that's where real freedom comes from, not from doing whatever you want, whenever you want, but from having the strength to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. That's true freedom. That's true power. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can let your feelings drive your actions, or you can let your discipline drive your feelings. You can wait for the perfect moment, or you can make this moment perfect through your actions. Because at the end of the day, discipline isn't just about habits. It's not just about routines. It's about becoming someone who can be counted on, someone who follows through, someone who turns challenges into victories through consistent, disciplined action. And that's where the real transformation begins. Because once you master inner discipline, you're ready to embrace something even more powerful, the growth mindset revolution. And that's where the real transformation begins, with a complete revolution in how you see every single experience in your life. Most people run from discomfort. They see it as something to avoid, something that means they're doing something wrong. But what if I told you that discomfort isn't your enemy? What if it's actually your greatest teacher? I used to think success was about avoiding failure, avoiding pain, avoiding anything that made me uncomfortable. But then I realized something that changed everything. Growth doesn't happen in comfort, just like a muscle doesn't grow. Unless you stress it, your capacity for success doesn't expand, unless you push beyond what's comfortable. Every single time you feel that resistance, that voice inside saying, this is too hard, that's not a signal to stop. That's a signal that you're exactly where you need to be. Because on the other side of that discomfort is everything you want. The last time you learned something new, maybe it was a skill, maybe it was a lesson about yourself. Did it come easy, or did it come through struggle, through challenge, through moments that tested you? See, that's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. But here's where most people get it wrong. They rush, they want instant results, they want to go from zero to hero overnight. But real growth, real lasting change, it requires something most people aren't willing to give: strategic patience. Strategic patience isn't about waiting passively. It's about understanding that every experience, every setback, every moment of doubt is shaping you. It's about seeing the bigger picture when everyone else is focused on instant gratification. I remember when I first started training my mind to embrace challenges. Every morning, I deliberately do something uncomfortable. Not because I enjoyed it, but because I understood something crucial. Resilience isn't built in comfort. It's built in adversity. Each time life knocks you down, you have a choice. You can see it as a failure, as proof that you're not good enough. Or you can see it as feedback, as data, as information that's helping you adjust your approach. That's what the growth mindset is all about. Turning every experience into fuel for your evolution. Think about a tree in a storm. The ones that survive aren't the ones that never bend. They're the ones that learn to bend without breaking. That's resilience. And just like that tree, your resilience grows through exposure to challenges, not through avoiding them. You have to stay engaged in the process. You can't just go through the motions. You have to be present, be curious, be willing to extract the lesson from every experience, because everything is teaching you something if you're willing to learn. Most people live their entire lives trying to avoid problems. But what if problems aren't actually problems? What if they're opportunities to grow stronger, to become more capable, to develop the kind of resilience that can't be shaken by temporary setbacks? Every single person who's ever achieved anything meaningful has faced obstacles, has dealt with setbacks, has encountered moments where everything seemed impossible. The difference isn't in what they faced, it's in how they faced it. They understood something crucial, that adversity isn't just something to endure, it's something to embrace. Because adversity is the forge that shapes you into who you need to become to achieve your dreams. And that's where strategic patience comes in, because real growth isn't linear. It's not a straight line up. It's messy. It's full of ups and downs, twists and turns. But when you have strategic patience, when you understand that every experience is moving you forward, if you let it, those ups and downs stop being sources of frustration and start becoming sources of strength. This is the revolution, the complete transformation in how you see every single moment of your life. It's about understanding that there are no wasted experiences. There are no true failures. There's only feedback, only learning, only growth. And once you truly embrace this mindset, once you start seeing every challenge as an opportunity, every setback as a setup for a comeback, you're ready for the most important part of your journey, taking massive action. And once you truly embrace this mindset, it's time to do what most people never do. Take massive action. Right now in this room, there are two types of people: those who are ready to act and those who are ready to make excuses. And here's what separates them. It's not knowledge, it's not talent, it's not even opportunity. It's the willingness to move beyond planning into execution. I see it all the time. People who have beautiful plans, detailed strategies, perfect visions of what they want to achieve, but they're stuck in what I call the planning trap. They keep refining their plans, tweaking their strategies, waiting for the perfect moment to start. But here's the brutal truth. No plan survives contact with reality. Success isn't built on perfect plans, it's built on imperfect action. Take my own journey. When I started, I didn't have it all figured out. I made mistakes. I stumbled, I failed, but I kept moving forward because I understood something crucial. Speed of implementation beats perfection of preparation every single time. But here's where it gets interesting. Taking massive action isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about creating systems that make success inevitable. Think about this every single day. You either build habits that move you toward your goals or habits that pull you away from them. There's no middle ground. Most people try to rely on motivation, but motivation is like the weather. It changes. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it isn't. Systems, on the other hand, systems work whether you feel like it or not. They're what carry you through when motivation fades. I've created a morning system that guarantees I make progress every single day, not because I always feel like it, but because the system doesn't ask my opinion. It doesn't care if I'm tired. It doesn't care if I'm not in the mood. The system simply says, this is what we do. And in today's world, with distractions everywhere, systems aren't just helpful. They're essential. Your phone, social media, endless notifications. They're all designed to steal your focus. But when you have strong systems in place, when you've created boundaries around your time and energy, those distractions lose their power. Think about water flowing down a mountain. It doesn't try to move the entire mountain at once. It creates channels, pathways that make progress inevitable. That's what systems do. They create pathways for success. They make the right actions automatic. But here's the part most people miss about massive action. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things consistently. It's about understanding the compound effect of daily progress. Small actions, repeated daily, create massive results over time. Imagine if you got just 1% better every day at your craft, your business, your relationships. In a year, you wouldn't be 365% better. You'd be 37 times better. That's the power of compound growth. But most people never see these results because they're not willing to do the daily work when it doesn't seem to be making a difference. The truth is, success is boring. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's doing the work when no one's watching. It's making the right choices even when they don't seem to matter, because they do matter. Every single action you take is either moving you toward your goals or away from them. Right now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can keep planning, keep preparing, keep waiting for the perfect moment, or you can decide that this is your moment. This is your time to take massive action. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel more ready. Now, because here's what I know about success. It doesn't go to the smartest or the most talented or the most privileged. It goes to those who are willing to take action when others are still planning, to those who are willing to do the work when others are making excuses, to those who understand that massive success comes from massive action. Right now, in this moment, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to where you've always been, comfortable, safe, predictable. The other path, that's the path of your potential, your dreams, everything you know deep down you're capable of becoming. You've learned about the power that lies within you. You've discovered that true strength isn't in avoiding discomfort, but in embracing it. You've seen how daily choices shape destiny, how discipline creates freedom, and how massive action transforms dreams into reality. But knowledge isn't power. Knowledge with action is power. And right now you have a decision to make, not tomorrow, not next week, right now, because here's the truth, the same thinking, the same actions, the same excuses that got you here won't get you where you want to go. I want you to think about something. 5 years from now, you'll arrive somewhere, that's guaranteed. The question is, will it be by design or by default? Will you be looking back at this moment as the time everything changed or as another missed opportunity? Your dreams are too important to put off. Your potential is too valuable to waste. Your time is too precious to spend it living someone else's life, following someone else's rules, settling for someone else's version of success. So here's my challenge to you. Take action before you leave this room. Not small action, not safe action, real action. The kind that makes your heart race. The kind that scares you a little. Because that fear, that discomfort, that's your signal that you're finally moving in the right direction. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel ready. Because ready is a myth. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who act. Remember this. Every great achievement in history started with a single moment of decision. Someone just like you decided that enough is enough. They decided that their dreams were more important than their fears. They decided that the time for waiting was over.